Whabam. Whoop-hole.
Recording.
We're recording.
You know, mine the other day with Half-Blood Happy Hour was like -10.
Your what?
My recording time with Half-Blood Happy Hour was like -10 seconds.
And it just started counting up, and then
Yeah,
it went to 0?
Mm-hmm.
That is weird. Yeah, it's always somebody that I have to fix, like in editing, where it's just like it's not perfectly. I have to like move everybody until it sounds correctly. But yeah. Hi, welcome to another episode of Dungeons and Degrees. My name is Adrian Padrian.
Are you Adrian Padrian?
On Instagram.
I am Alex Schmalix.
Are you Alex Schmalix?
You know, maybe I should be. Maybe this year is the time we change, and I just
You're gonna
become
take
Alex
away
Schmalix.
all of Eloquent Mime.
Oh my god. Just the thought of that, like, that's been the name since like 2007, dude.
As an individual who hasn't had a good username, because I think my first one was on, where was it? I think it was fucking RuneScape was my first account that I had to make a profile, and I think I did Dagger, and that was taken. And then I did Dagger 20 something, and that was taken. And then I did 22, and that wasn't taken. So then I became Dagger 22 on some platforms and 24 on other platforms.
I think my username is taken on Twitch, and it's not me. So if there's like an Eloquent Mime that is on Twitch, it's not me.
Are they a real mime? Or have you checked if they actually make videos, or are they just that's their username?
I haven't checked since I just had to make another one that was like LO_mime.
Mm-hmm.
No, LO_Quint mime.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I currently have. Not that I stream anything, but I don't even know what to do. Maybe I do own it on a different platform or something. I don't know. It's not mine.
How do famous people get stuff that not famous, like social media famous, where like they start from something and then they move themselves up, and then they finally like get to a point where like can they like buy the username from somebody, or like do they talk like, hey, I bring so much traffic to your platform, here's what I'm gonna do?
I have no idea. Maybe that's the case. So I need to get famous enough that I can then buy back my...
Yeah, bully them. Yeah.
It's cool. Listen, dear listener, if you are Eloquent Mime on Twitch, can I have it back? Can I?
Please.
It's mine. It's mine.
It's mine.
I just don't know who did it. Like, who put those two words together? Because honestly, I put like 2 fucking words that I saw together, and that was eloquent and that was mime, and then that was how that was born.
Were you there for when you made, or like when this formula when I was in elementary? I don't know, whenever email started like being necessary, it was like noun adjective number. So like my friends was Sporty Chica 94 or something silly, like I forget what, I think mine was just Dagger 24 for the longest time. But were you there during that era?
I did not have an email, right? So my email has always been like my name. And I went from Yahoo to Google. And I have no idea what the Yahoo, like, I haven't had access to that in decades. But I was on AIM, so I did have an AOL screen name. And the only one that I can remember that I had was Buttercup Girly, Gurly. Ly, right? And then 13. I'm sure it was 13.
Mine in AOL, when I had AIM for a bit before things started like upgrading at a rapid fucking pace, was Everyone Knows My Name, and it was EVRY1 NOS my name, because I couldn't figure out how to shorten my name.
I love that.
It is so disgusting.
Oh my god. I did have like a whole bunch of other AOL names that I could not remember. But they were like I switched them around. It didn't matter. I had the same fucking group of friends on every single account. Like, it did not matter. So, I don't know if you had these, right? Because you probably were towards the tail end of AOL. Yeah. But my AOL sounds, I used to tailor to my my season of expression. Yes. And so I had like clips from movies, like different so like I don't know. So Nightmare Before Christmas was one of the soundscapes. And if somebody logged off, it was the Lock, Shock, and Barrel screaming no and then laughing. And so there are things like that where I could hear them. If I hear them in the wild, it just like shoots me back into literally, like, I could tell you what that sounded. I can't tell you right now what that sound meant or what it was showing, but like the one I can tell you is The Night Before Christmas, because if somebody logged off, I knew that fucking sound. It was wild. I should have just left the sounds the way they were.
It's fine. I think like the actual like AOL dial-up thing, I think could have been customized, because I remember it was like it was it's Austin Powers. There we go. Austin Powers themed. So fucking Mr. What the fuck? The guy? Why can't I think of his name?
Dr. Evil?
Thank you, Dr. Evil. We'll go, you got freaking mail. And then I thought it was the fucking hilarious thing in the whole fucking world when I was like young. Hi, welcome to Dungeons and Degrees.
Nostalgia podcast.
Brought to you by Time. Eventually, this will be y'all's nostalgia. Yeah, I know. We're going to miss TikTok because it's going to get banned.
It's already banned. As of Friday of recording time, or Saturday of recording time.
4/24/24.
Yeah, thanks for that. While we were all distracted. Actually, I did 0% celebrated, but I did take a 5-hour sleep in the middle of the day. So I'm doing great at this time. I'm doing great. There's nothing at all happening in my life where I take a 5-hour nap in the middle of the day and then go back to bed and have a full night's rest.
You're doing great.
I'm doing fine. It's great. Fine.
Another thing we have to do today, we have to clear out our inbox.
Is it Dante's Inferno?
Yeah, it's Dante's Inferno, the person who messages on our Spotify.
Dante's Inferno.
How do I do this? Inferno. Episodes list, and then...
Let's do it right now.
I know. I'm looking.
Adrian, add some cool Dante's Inferno music right here.
I absolutely will not.
Why not?
Because I have to find some sort of music. Okay. Back on 98, Cosmic Brownie with Sam Oliver. Dante asks, under the username Cool Boyfriend, define crotch goblin, please.
Oh, crotch goblins are just human children.
Yes.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But in the context, I think they were talking about being like obsessed with sex.
No, I think I don't remember context, but I'm pretty sure we were still talking about children.
Mostly, yes. I think the general idea of it is just like, oh, your children are your crotch goblins.
Yeah, they come out of your crotch. Well, they come out of
Well, they kind of,
come
in
out
a
of a
way,
vagina.
they both came out. I mean,
yeah,
if
you're right.
Like,
yeah,
not saying when life exists, but like in the action of it, you know.
Yeah, I
the
know they come
crotch
out
was
of
involved.
everybody's crotch. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Unfortunately. Yeah. Crotch goblins are children.
So that's your answer, Dante. That's what I think it was.
Thanks, Dante, for that.
Episode 99, LubbockCon 2024.
Oof.
Cool boyfriend, aka Dante, says Baldur's Gate 3 is about all the friends that came along the way. It's not a question, but more of an assertion. Thanks, Dante.
We all came. Sorry.
Here's a good one. From episode 101, Secrets with Oakleaf Insignia. Cool boyfriend asks, what is E2C2?
E2C2 is the convention, right? And I don't think it's
yes.
E2C2. I think it was something else. I think when we talked about it, it's not that.
With Sadie.
C2E2. Flip them.
You son of a bitch. Why'd you do it like this, Dante?
Yeah, flip them. Because otherwise we're talking about immigration. Right? Which, once again, Dante's thing.
Yeah.
Or, so number one on my Google is the Export Enforcement Coordination Center. Or it's the Epidemiology of Endometrial Cancer Consortium. Both of them are E2C2s. But then if you get to the third one, it gives you the C2E2, which is a convention in Chicago.
What do they do at that convention?
It's a games and entertainment expo. So it is this weekend. Congratulations. This weekend recording time. There you go. Have fun this weekend in Chicago.
Wow. Yeah. Everyone in Chicago.
I also do like in their like tagline, it says comics, cosplay, gaming, wrestling, and anime.
Is wrestling with a question mark or?
No, it's not with a question mark. But
okay.
Do we throw wrestling into a like traditional convention? Should you? I would absolutely. I could. I could justify it.
Right.
But would you justify it?
I feel like wrestling has its own nerddom that like has its own like I think the wrestling nerds might fucking come for me. Go ahead, come strangle me, daddy. But like it has its own kind of soap opera like in the background that has story and meaning. And to be honest, I heard recently like that's why people are invested in sports, because there's story behind like what's going on in the background before the game happens. And to me that's just fucking wild. Like I could not care less. I don't know if there's a sport involved. I want to be playing it. I will enjoy watching most things like the World Cup, but I'd rather not. I'd rather just be somewhere else.
No, and I could respect that. I don't think that I might throw wrestling into like a nerd convention, but it is dramatic. It does have costuming. There are storylines. So like in all the things that people who go to conventions love, like I love a storyline. I love flashy costumes. I just think that's an interesting thing to also throw in there. Like in Chicago, is there not somewhere else? Like, do we not get to go to like WrestleMania? Is there a WrestleMania?
But that's not a convention. Interesting.
Is it a convention?
Like it's well, so like okay. It's like you can't say that like D20 Live is a convention, right? It's an event and it has some concessions and then like maybe some sort of like merch, right? So I think you can't say that like WrestleMania is a convention. I think it's an event, for and foremost, a spectacle, and then the things around it could be sold. But I think if you have its own convention, you're like, this is a program, this is a merch, this is like, you can add onto it and talk about it more often. I knew a guy who actually went to like I want to say like a wrestling camp and to see where he'd go.
I have at least one Facebook friend that like actively wrestles.
Actively, like in his local community kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It is,
I guess. Listen, I'm all for people doing their hobbies, okay?
Yeah.
And I guess that wraps up Dante's Inferno Corner, or whatever we're calling this shit. So Dante, thank you. And also any other viewers that want to just comment on the Spotify and just talk, we will eventually address it, unless I don't like it.
I mean, we could even, it would still be addressed. Unless it's like super awful.
That's what I'm saying. That's essentially what I'm saying here. Don't be a fucking bigot in the comments.
Absolutely not.
I will eat your ass.
What if they enjoy it, though? What if they like it?
I hit something. I don't know how it's gonna look in the recording, so I'm gonna stop it and start it real quick. What the fuck?
Okay.
I hit the little like side button on my mouse on accident, and it pushed me back.
It's okay. Listen, I mean, maybe you enjoy eating the asses of bigots as well. So it could be a learning. It could be a fun for all.
I'll teach them good. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I didn't come in today. I just wanted to catch up with you. I want to also talk about the goals. I feel like we had some goals at the beginning of the year that we're almost about to like go and smash them anyways.
Yeah.
Like we've already set things in motion in order for them to happen. Stop it. What? I need to check back on that episode, but I think it's essentially just us just wanting to do more shit, and we've done more shit this year. Like we've gone to a con, we're planning to go to Gen Con. Nothing solid on potentially getting into a game or a panel, but we've made those moves.
We've put it out there in the universe. Like, that is something that we want to do.
Yes, exactly.
I think you've also done a really good job of like getting people outside of our like inner circle as well. So I think you're smashing the goals completely out. For sure.
Yeah. I'm playing more games. Today I was followed up about an ad switch. So one of the past episodes that I'm editing will have an ad, and then we're swapping with them, which after this we need to talk about doing some like talking stuff for the ad. But like we've got things moving, and we're moving in a cool direction. And like Ren, one of our last guests, I think, his came out last. Theirs came out last, and they said, or they've been promoting it more than I have promoted my own stuff recently. Because I'm like, I don't know, I'm always like on to the next editing thing. Like, okay, it's out, somebody will find it. And I'll be back.
And I think that makes sense. If you're constantly you're doing the editing in the backhand, and like the idea that like I have to get this episode, I've listened to it again at least one time, 2 times if I guess you're lucky, and then you're tired of hearing that. You're done. You've heard more about it than anybody else has, and so I do think that's interesting. I don't usually get on Twitter. And sometimes when I do get on Twitter, I like, accidentally open it, and then it has the like notifications, which that will be the biggest thing that will get me to clear something out if it has the notifications on it. And I just like opened it up and then saw the support from like other people, which is still trying to not trying. I'm trying to downplay always the like impact that we might have on the world, or I might have on the world. Because that's not a we, but I may be downplay.
Yeah, talk for yourself. I'm changing the fucking world.
But I just need that reminder sometimes. So I started listening to 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Weist. And I opened it up because I like essays. Like, I'm that type of reader. I liked, like, Sarah Vowell, and I like the shorter compositions of things. But I didn't read anything about it at all. I just was like, it's
You just jumped in?
Available to download on Libby. It's not too terribly long if I read at double speed, or if I listen to it at double speed. And it was a testing day, so, like, I didn't have anything else to do anyways. And then for 49% of this has done nothing but absolutely drag every piece of the way that I think. And it's like, why are you trash talking yourself? Why do you put limits on your actions? If you're putting limits, then obviously, like, you were just trying to fail. And that's your ego trying not to be hurt, not what is real or what's going on in the world. And I know we have this, like, the other thing is I feel like we have this conversation like every other episode. And I don't know, maybe it is my ego getting in the way of like, just shut the fuck up and do it. Like,
I mean, it takes time. It's a process. Just because we hear it once doesn't mean it fixes the fucking thing immediately.
How long, Adrian? How long have we done this?
How long? How I explain it to my patients, past tense, you have to do it longer or as equal to the times you've been downplaying yourself. And you can kind of think of that as like idea. In years, but you can also try expedite that by just every day talking to yourself in a more positive light, one step at a time, even though it's icky, because you're not used to it. This is a new path you're going through. You have to keep, even if you don't believe it, you have to keep talking about it. Your mind will make it easier once you've made that path more, more obvious, more plain. You travel through that path, it's going to be easier to go to. And you're just going to have to hear it over and over and over and over and over again. Eventually, it'll get through. Just like anything that's been taught to you. Just because it's negative doesn't make it more special or more true. You just got to have to hear the other positive things more often than that. You also have to be telling yourself these things as well.
I don't know why you had to scream.
Because it's
I don't know why you were just like on the top of your lungs just screaming at me.
Because I care about you. Yeah. Let that sink in, you stupid idiot.
I know.
You're not a stupid idiot. You're not. See, I did it twice.
Oh,
that
okay.
Removes
you're
the
right.
Other thing
You're
I
right.
just
You're
said.
right. You're right. It evens out.
There we go. I mean, like, how many times have you been called a name? What's a unique thing that someone's ever called you that doesn't stick? Like you kind of.
If it doesn't stick, how do I not remember? How do I remember it?
Right. But then we can think about the things that do stick, the things that you feel like repeat in your head as a negative treadmill, right? Do you feel like those are true, or do they just become more louder? There we go, English. When you're in a mood.
Yeah, I would say that, especially because I'm pretty stable right now, that they become just overwhelmingly loud. They're not true, but they're loud.
How often do you tell yourself the truth? Is it only when they become loud? Is it when they're not loud? How often do you give yourself that positive out? Like it feels bad, it feels wrong, it feels disgusting. I know, because you're not used to it.
No, I think that's an interesting way that I've never really thought about addressing any sort of negative thoughts I have about myself. That I do tend to try to scream at myself at the times that I feel the worst versus like doing it every day. And if
it'll become easier to
I
scream
feel like
at
maybe
yourself,
yeah,
and feel more impactful.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome
This
to
is
Dungeons and
sometimes a therapy
Degrees.
podcast.
Listen, we were getting onto me earlier, but now it's
I get onto you off camera, and then you get to do it on camera. Is that it? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not how it's usually. I mean, I think you've tried to talk me into more positive thoughts as well, and you address it. You tell the person, the guest. There we go. About like Adrian doesn't give himself enough credit, and I'm just like, I'm bashful. Like it happens sometimes.
And I can see. I mean, like that's honestly something that I think after this conversation will be like immediately put into effort of like being my own hype person, because I definitely can see where that would, I mean, I can, yes, I can see where that would help.
Yeah, I mean, when we get like, I'm talking from experience. Like, I didn't read the fucking DSM-5 to understand the things I'm telling you. I lived through it, and I understand a little bit more about brain patterns because I went to fucking school for it. And it's like, what, cab drivers have this like enlarged part of their brains because they know each and every fucking route they can take in London. Like, there is physical like mass that is different because of it. Like, that's got to tell you, because they repeat and they understand. So like, take that into anything else we do. Like, I don't play piano, but when I watch someone play piano, they don't have to like think of every single thing they put down. It becomes natural. It becomes a force of habit. We are not this weird complex fucking thing. We are simple beings. Repetition is fucking key.
Yeah. No.
Repetition, and then changing the places we're at.
How do you?
Here,
No,
I'll give you time to breathe.
I'm doing great.
And I can talk about myself real quick if you want me to.
You know what? Go. I mean, from here, like, yes, you're fucking right. Like, that's yes.
You know,
I think if there was just more negative talk, even on like, especially days where I'm mentally okay, right? Because I tend to be really nice and positive to myself when I do feel bad. Like, I do that because I feel bad, and I know that my brain is doing brain things, and it's not necessarily when I'm feeling. It's not when I'm feeling not bad. No, it's not when I'm feeling bad is the problem, right? So like at this point in healing, right. I can at least be nice to me when I'm not feeling good, but like maybe we're pulling out of having the cycles of not being good, and like this has had the actual like next level up part of healing is that I'm positively talking to myself all of the time.
Yeah. Start to get full of yourself. Start getting in there.
Yeah. How's that going for you?
I'm sometimes full of myself. But I know, like, the same way I know that the depression stuff, when it says it to myself in my head, isn't true. I know that, like, when I overhype myself, it's not true. But it also kind of puts a smile on my face because I'm just being a little jokey guy. Like it's just funny to me. Like, even when I like, I think before I couldn't see myself in a light that was like positive. and this is gonna get into like I guess body dysmorphia. I don't know, just like seeing myself with just a little pudge in high school. I hated myself. I called myself fat. I did not like the way I looked. And then it just kept getting worse and worse. I got into college. I got a little bit chunkier. Nobody's going to look at me. I hate myself. Why would anybody like this? It kept getting worse, worse, worse. You get all the way to fucking post-COVID where I weigh 350 pounds. And I'm like, I need to stop this. I'm going to keep saying I hate myself, and I'm still going to not do anything. So I need to look at myself and still love the body that I have and still want to think about the other thing in time. Like, I don't want to change my body for me, because if I did, I would have done it a long time ago. I want to change my body so that way I'm around for those that in my life longer. I want to be able to, and I don't have a girlfriend. I want to play with my kid. I want to be able to run with him. I want to be able to do those things, and I get to do those things and keep up with that kid if I'm a healthier body. So that's my motivation. Doesn't that mean I don't think that's gonna fit for everybody, but like I want to be here longer for people in general, and that right now is something I can do. Also, you get big muscles.
I like the big muscles part. Then I have a tough question.
Yeah.
If we are having those conversations of like, I'm doing it for like where is the intrinsic motivation? Because it's still, you're still outsourcing your need or want to do whatever, right? Specifically, we're talking about working out, but like, it could literally be anything, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to show up as a better person for somebody. Like, that's still somebody else. So the issue then, right, is like, where do I find that intrinsic motivation to like still push me to doing better, even though like maybe the significant other, the children, like maybe those don't come around. Maybe something happens and we get isolated forever because of weird COVID-19. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. How do you think of that? Like, is it? I guess that's a very convoluted question. Are you following?
I think you're asking like, okay, but if those things don't exist in your mind, or if that doesn't happen in your future, like you get closer and closer to like an age where it's harder and harder to get those things, what do you do next? What do you think next? Is that
just
kind of correct? How do you make it more about like how can you self kind of?
Because I have that mom big sister override as well, right? I can literally do anything if it's for somebody else.
If it's for somebody else? You can tell yourself that this vessel that you live in is like, you need to take care of it like you would take care of somebody else, because they would do it for you. I feel that's still outsourcing a little bit, but more self-respect through example instead of self-respect because you deserve it. Because I think currently in my headspace, it's hard for me to think in that ideology, due to the fact that like I've kind of created a lot of my purpose in life is to assist and help others. So it's hard for me as an individual to want to do things for myself only, because I've already made that to be my goal in life. I think it's possible. I think it's like I should care for myself in order to keep going. I should try to strive for more because I want to do X, Y, and Z. I can't do a really cool mountain hike because I would die if I did it at this like strength. Like if I was stronger, if I was more knowledgeable, then I can't do this dream. Like, if you remove the people out of it, well, what are your goals as an individual? What do you want to create, like, I guess, health-wise? Like, listen, if you're okay with your body, I think the other thing would be to just being acceptant of your own body instead of feeling so... There's dogs. Can you hear the dogs?
I understand the dogs.
Someone's taking out the fucking trash right now, and the dogs are going crazy.
True fans of this podcast will understand. There's a lot of dogs between us.
There are. Between San Antonio to Dallas,
but
there's
even,
a lot of dogs between us.
With the ability to record,
in our household,
there's like a lot of dogs, like a lot more dogs than It's fine. And I can see where you're coming from, right? Like, maybe it's a launching point of, like, I want to take care of myself to be there for my future family. But that's not where that whole conversation needs to end, right? So it is maybe the easier point to trick your brain into saying, I'm doing this for somebody else, but at some point there needs to be a shift from you back to me. Does that sound...
Right.
Does that sound like what you were saying?
A shift from you back to... So, like...
The shift back from my, like, external motivation to an internal motivation.
The internal motivation would be, I mean, those other goals that don't involve people. You want to write your book? Well, getting some sun will help your brain, you know? Just taking a walk and thinking and breathing in the fresh air, or being able to go experience other people or things. Like, you have to get out of the house. You can't stick into your kind of depression bed. Like, you'll only experience the things that are at your keyboard and at the bed. Like, I know it's a lot, but you seeing that human interaction is going to help you out. And that involves getting out and just experiencing life. Sometimes it's tough to get out of bed. I understand that. I think just depending on the goal, you have to be focused on that. I don't know how, like, exercise, like, as long as you're healthy to a point where you feel comfortable with yourself, I think that's fine. You don't need a quote-unquote perfect body because it's manufactured and they get paid to do that sometimes. Like, any athlete gets paid to fucking keep their body and physique that way, and every movie star gets paid to go work out to fit a role. Like, I mean, you see influencers. Oh, well, it's because now they're getting paid to do that too.
If
sometimes.
That was my job, I think I agree. It'd be a lot easier.
Right.
It'd be a lot easier. But...
yeah. Except now we have to deal with people. And people are the worst. Yeah. I think that... I'm trying to think of one self thing. And I think that's like a deeper issue for someone to kind of delve in with myself as a psychology, because I can't think of it. I don't see this vessel, quote unquote vessel, I guess, to be something for oneself. I feel like that's like, I don't know, there's a lot of importance you have to put into yourself. And I want to always avoid any type of ego or narcissism, because I feel like you can get swollen up into that world where it's always about you, and you become usually this uncaring person, and that's like not me. I don't know. There's got to be a line that I haven't experienced where looking at myself and thinking I'm important, and to only do it for myself and not because other people tell me I'm important, is a positive. But I just haven't experienced that. Maybe I just need to take ayahuasca or something and just experience like ego death or something.
Well, I mean, like any, it's at the end of the day, it is me trapped in this meat suit, feeling some type of way about everything, and like, I think it really, I think it does a disservice to ignore that part of your brain that is sort of selfish, because if I am doing something for you, I'm still going to feel good about it. Like, I still have some reflection back to me. And I think to completely, like, or to try to find a line of, like, I'm being narcissistic, right? I think that's a misnomer, right? Because someone who is, like, diagnosed narcissism, like, literally does not give a shit about anybody else, right? So, like, even having that conversation of, like, well, I don't want to be too narcissistic, that couldn't happen because you are already thinking about somebody else's reaction to it. You're already trying to put yourself into somebody else's shoes, right? That empathy or the empathy is already there, right? So do we use like, I don't want to be too full of myself as an excuse to not live up to whatever you want to be, like your ego, like are we using that as an excuse? And I'm not attacking you, so I want to be very clear that that is not.
No, I mean, you're talking to
like,
me.
You are doing it wrong. I'm just that
I
listen.
could be.
I'm
I
a
don't
fucking teacher.
know.
If anything, I have the, like, I'm going to be here for other people. So, like, are we using that as an excuse to, like, hold ourselves back? If I'm not of service to people, then what value do I have in the world?
I feel like there's gotta be. I think that we're asking this question between two people who want to, like, help other people, so we don't fucking know. It's something that we haven't experienced. So, like, between us two, we're looking for something that we cannot see. It's like a rock that floats right behind your head, and we turn around, it's still
like,
behind our head. We don't fucking know.
I just take care of me. Like, I don't. Maybe that's okay. So maybe that's the question. Like, the next goal for my mental health journey is, like, let's just see what happens if I am selfish, or if I feel like I'm selfish. Because once again, me feeling like I'm selfish is still different than me being selfish. Like, selfishness is like,
as the individual, right? Like, because you feeling selfish is still like you said,
right.
It's consideration of everybody else.
If I feel selfish, is it like, how bad is my real selfishness? Like, how what happens if I am actually?
We're opening up.
It's an interesting social experience.
Are we going to try and be selfish for, like, a week and come back and then, like? I hate that. You know me and time limits.
I think it's a summer of selfishness. Like, I think it's the whole summer.
Summer! I have to meet new people. I have to meet new people.
Okay, so because it feels so uncomfortable, I think that's what it has to be. I think we come back from Gen Con, right? Let's say that Gen Con is our deadline. And, like,
what do you mean deadline? Like before or at Gen Con we have to be selfish?
I think from this moment until Gen Con, we are more selfish than not.
Then our limit is usually
because once
giving
again,
us.
Like, in my brain, how selfish am I? Like, for me to feel like I'm being selfish, is it really that selfish? Is it really that?
Or is it just advocating for yourself?
Right? Like, my 100% at work is not everybody else's 100%.
My blue isn't your blue. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that
one. My blues are great. Okay. Aside from the fact that I can't really see details anymore, my 34-year-old age, my color spectrum is still superb. I will die on that hill.
Nice.
I probably won't, because I will have lost blue at that time.
I mean, you're an art. No.
First in, first out. Or last in, first out.
That feels weird. I'm still like, just talking about that. I feel sick. I feel sick, dude. but I think it's cool. We'll give each other updates as we go on. We will call it the selfish summer.
Listen, Rat Girl Summer was last year. Hot Girl Summer was the year before. Selfish Summer. Simple. Easy.
Simple. This is not going to be fucking easy. If I get fired from my job, I'll let you know. Because sometimes when my boss likes to talk to me about politics, I just like don't want to hear it. And
a boss talking about politics?
Yeah, it's because we're stuck with each other for like 2.5 hours, and then he just starts, you know, like, what's the deal with? And I'm like,
No.
He was getting into all the Israel-Palestine stuff.
Oh.
He kept calling all the protests Hamas protests.
Did you see the what? No, they're not National Guard. Who are they? UT Austin.
They were at UT, right?
They're at UT. So what is it?
Like currently, as of recording, they're. I mean, like I saw like someone's Snapchat vid of them at the protest.
Oh my god, there's what are they? Yeah, okay. So people have been arrested. Let me Texas Tribune feels. But there's like police, like we're on campus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's trustworthy right now because I'm.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm on the Texas Tribune. Let's see. Just for the
We'll
record,
see.
I have done no research on whether or not we trust these to be. Yeah, look, they've got pictures.
Mm-hmm.
What?
They were talking about. I was watching a stream, and they were talking about this other incident with a Jewish student who was saying that they got stabbed in the eye.
Oh my god.
And then all the papers went off, and then we watched the video after all that, and he's like, "Why does it say not safe for work? Or why does it say safe for work? This student got stabbed, right?"
Mm-hmm.
He was being sarcastic because the student, like, there was like the people in vests, like the essentially the protest moderators. Just kind of like creating a wall to like stop them from like kind of intruding into the protest, and somebody that had a Palestinian flag there, it just kind of like fell off one of the moderator's shoulder, like, and it's just like the ones that you see in a classroom that we just put on a desk. So it was like the size of a postcard, and the tip kind of fell and just kind of like boing, it bounced off this person, and she said, "Ow, you stabbed my eye," and the papers just fucking ran with that. So, yeah. It was, one, an accident, and two, the way the fucking thing got, like, bounced off or, like, kind of, like, dipped in and dipped out, probably just brushed them.
Okay, so Dan Proctor's also posted on Instagram. This is delusion. Oh, on Twitter. This is delusional. We have big problems on our college campuses. In Texas, we won't allow anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas protesters to take control of our universities. But aren't they?
Yeah,
weren't they just contained? I mean, they were also not. From what it sounds like, because I was not there, right? What it sounds like is that they were peacefully protesting, and once, our police and riot officers get all wily because they
fucking
can't handle
cops.
it. Yeah, I don't. Oh,
they want to use their fun little toys.
This is why we do research, right? Okay, so top stories come from Austin American-Statesman. KVUE, the Texas Tribune, NBC News, and Fox News. Fox, Texas Tribune, police arrest pro-Palestine protesters at UT Austin. Austin American Statesman, UT Austin students hold pro-Palestinian protest on campus. Dallas News, UT protesters arrested during pro-Palestine rally after state something. Fox News, UT Austin protest descend into chaos. Anti-Israel students. One of those doesn't sound like the other.
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't sell as hard if we just say they're protesting, they're pro-Palestine. No, we have to keep reiterating that it's pro-Hamas. We got to make sure that, like, oh, they're being very anti-Semitic, but there's also, like, Jewish students in there, like Jewish Voice for Peace at Columbia University's there, kind of saying, like, hey, listen, this is not about us, it's about what's going on in Palestine, and things like that. But people don't want to hear it. People don't want us to think that that there can be, like, multiple fronts. It's not like they're saying, like, oh, did you see their signs? It says that they're like X, Y, and Z. And literally, when they run this during Fox, I do not see the signs. They don't post pictures. Like, they could potentially show us something that, like, oh, yeah, there's someone that says they're pro-Hamas. But, like, you'd have to also skim past everything that just wants the Palestinians to not be fucking killed. There's always going to be some sort of, like, bad faith individual in things. We're seeing, like, an uptick in anti-Semitic, and it's true. It's because people who were already anti-Semitic are seeing this as a thing, like, oh, it's now quote unquote cool to be anti-Semitic and shit. And, like, that's not what we're fucking doing. We just want the killing to stop, and for the country of Israel to stop fucking killing people, moving into the West Bank and things like that.
I think that's a really interesting notion, because I see that even on, like, a micro level, right? In my classroom,
Mm-hmm.
if there are students who are misbehaving and they were outwardly, like, just screaming, acting up, like, I don't want to say, I don't mean misbehaving as in, like, I'm going to use the word misbehaving, but it's not as, like, serious as I think I want people to think about, because it's just kids being annoying. But,
Yeah.
but, like, I can't say that either. So, like, but if there are students who are misbehaving and doing things, right? So maybe a couple of them are talking, or...
Right.
I lied. Okay, I got this. If my students are trying to get each other to be quiet, right? A couple of things happen. Either you have, like, a group of students who are just quiet because they know that that'll be the best way to get the goal of the classroom to be quiet. Like, they won't say anything. Then there are students who are frustrated and who use their voice and say, you know, everybody be quiet. But then there's, like, a subsect beyond those students who will just scream. Like, they're just using that as a chance to use their voice, or to be loud, or to, like, it's a covert operation, right?
Right.
So, like, there are students who
under
are,
the
like,
guise of trying to get them quiet.
Yeah, but they're
just
fucking sowing seeds of chaos.
Yeah.
Which is harmless in my classroom.
Right.
It's annoying at best, right? But, like, we can assume that the dynamics inside the classroom repeat themselves on a larger and broader scale in, like, the society as a whole. Because, once again, we have these people who are protesting, or... Yeah, there are people who are protesting, but then behind them, there are people, like... They're being...
Like, they're being very 4chan, like, Reddit, like extreme edgelords, essentially.
Yeah. The same way that people rallied behind Trump and said, whatever it is that they continue to say, and I just don't feel like repeat. Like I don't want to repeat it, right? Like that's also
That's fine.
I'm like find myself frustrated a lot of the time of like they're just getting their message out more.
If you keep repeating it, it's like some people said this, some people said that.
Yeah, and like, listen, at the end of the fucking day, should we be killing other people?
No.
No. I agree. I don't want I don't want people to be murdered on either side. I don't I don't want anybody to be murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why that's a hard I was not raised in the way that makes sense that I should be murdering people.
I don't think we've been raised or can fully feel or understand or would want to understand the point of view of them being okay with like this. And it's not like it's every person. In Israel, there's people that are speaking up against it. There's like I might getting it too high or too low, but like 5,000 people that were like yelling at Netanyahu at his house, just saying, hey, let's fucking find a ceasefire. Let's stop this shit. Like there's people out there that believe that lived in that world. And then there's people who, like, even in the United States, who are just like, I believe in my nation and my nation is right. Like I'm saying, like American nationalism and what's called Israel nationalism, essentially. Zionism is what they kind of call it, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, what I'm saying is, like, people want to latch on to a good, truly holy idea of something. And for some reason, that can be doing this in the name of God, or this can be the name of any God, or their state, which they're like, we are the quote-unquote good guys. But literally, most governments are just looking for the best interests of themselves, because that's how fucking power works right there, We wouldn't be in this situation if we had, like, a little bit more checks and balances at the top, where people were just greedy and they just wanted money and stuff like that, and want to mess with people's foreign affairs. Hi, this is Dungeons and Degrees. I've said this 4 times now.
Oh man.
I want it to stop too, and I want there to be a way for this to stop in a manner that it will come out amicable. But I feel like at this moment, it just seems hopeless, right? But if we keep moving forward in the way we are going, there might be someone's fucking heart changed eventually. I don't know whose. I just hope it's the right fucking person, right? So yeah.
The fucking Grinch.
Eat the rich.
Eat the fucking rich.
Eat the fucking rich. There should be an age limit in Congress. Yeah, those old fuckers are ruining our lives now. Also, they shouldn't be able to fucking trade stock. That's fucked up. They see things before we do, and then they fucking do it to fuck with us. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to trade all my stocks. Oh, I didn't do that. They give me a little slap on the hand. Anything that's a fine, it's just a poor man's tax, like a poor man's fucking jail sentence. Yes. That doesn't mean that the rich are going to jail. That just means, oh, here's my cash to do illegal shit. Yeah.
This is fine. It's like the world on fire. Let's go.
I'm glad we're on the same wavelength, like my boss.
Oh, that's how we got there. I was like, how did we get there? But no. I had a boss when I have my Ohana tattoo on my forearm with my sister. It was in the height of Obama's presidency, and my boss saw it and was like, does that say Obama? And I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Like, no, in fact, it's not. But for
I'm
somebody to
glad
be
that
like,
was your worst interaction with your boss.
no, it was not the worst, but it was definitely something that's a little less
okay.
serious. No, because that was a weird, that was a different. I didn't have issues with my boss.
I feel like
my boss understood that we were on 2 different platforms, but like, that's okay. It was the other people I worked with that, you just work with different types of people in construction. And that's it. Just different types of people doing different types of things. Different types of experience.
Yep. How do we tie D&D into this? We don't have to. This is our podcast.
I mean,
this is fucking our podcast.
It's all D&D. Like, you can play this into your campaign, right? You're feeling frustrated with the world, start a coup. Like, you need to work out these feelings, talk to your DM about getting your needs met. If you feel like you need to make an alternate reality for whatever's happening in the real world, you can have it turn out whatever way you want in game. If you start relying on that as an escape, as a form of true escapism, then you have like another conversation. But like, fuck the rich.
Yeah. Yeah, talk more positively about yourself. You're good at what you do. You're not that bad of a player / DM.
Be a little more selfish.
Yeah, be selfish. I think that, having something else than the drudge of life is important because it can be saddening. It can cause depression. It's easy. You look outside. Yeah, shit, fuck. This thing sucks. So, take a pause, give yourself a breath of fresh air, glass of water, look at the sun. It hasn't burnt out. Way to go. Right. And, come back when you're feeling healthy. We're here for you. And, keep fighting the good fight. Keep talking about these things. Because they are important. We talk about a lot of shit on this podcast, like Dungeons & Degrees. But the way I met all these people was because we all thought, hey, doctors should be in Palestine or in Gaza. So let's do this fundraiser. We all believe that, and we still do. Now we're just going through different avenues now. People are doing fundraisers on their own. They're creating stuff in their times of need. Like, they're doing things important to them so that way when they can kind of like go back out there, they can have some energy, That's how I see it. You have a bunch of people like, I feel bad for making these videos during this time, but to be honest, like, we've been at war for our whole fucking time. It's like,
the whole time.
Like, we are not, we just fucking love war in the United States. It sucks.
We just keep doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, be okay with taking a breath of fresh air. We need you at 100%. Grab the guillotines, man.
For the guillotines, yes, not for the capitalism. We don't need you at 100% for the capitalism.
No, fuck the capitalism. I'm talking about fucking the capitalism,
I'm telling you, that little French part
do
of me
free
is like,
shit.
Let's go. Part of me.
Listen, fuck capitalism and do free shit, okay?
Yeah.
Come hang out, listen to this pod.
Hell yeah. Rate, review, subscribe.
But if you don't want to do free shit and listen to this pod,
then send us straight up money. Then send us straight up. If you, once again, you just got a bunch of money, just throw it at other people. We know what to do with it.
Yeah. I want to grow my platform, so when I do calls for like aid and stuff, that I could be heard in a larger platform in order to assist in that aid. Like, this is not to get fucking famous and shit. It's to be able to talk to people and help and find those in need and then amplify their voices.
I also find that really frustrating, being poor. Like, if we were to have money, cause,
Yeah.
honestly, because, like, sure, middle class, like, are we able to afford our housing? Sure. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, poor, okay? If we were to get money, if I was to get money, it would not be selfish. It would not be like, I'm keeping it for myself. I'm not, like, it would be to find ways to help support my friends' families, like, causes that I believe in.
Yeah, we pay for our friends' stuff all the time, and if I had more money, I would pay for more things
all
for
the
my
time.
friends.
It would be all the time.
And
We
I would
have
donate,
a commune.
and I would donate. Yeah, we would have a
We
commune.
would have the commune, and it would not be to, like, bamboozle people into drinking Kool-Aid. It would not be to worshiping a dead body when I'm dead, and we're just waiting for my soul to enter into the corpse. Like, it's not.
Is this a Fallout thing?
No, it's another. Hold on, it's another documentary that just came out.
Oh, okay.
Love Has Won.
All right,
The Cult of Mother God. Amy Carlson.
Mother God. Gotcha. All right. Yeah.
But, like, I'm not starting a commune to do that. I just want my friends and family to eat and feel safe.
So yeah, we've been Dungeons and Degrees. Do you have anything to plug, Alex?
I don't have any. Go read 101 essays that will change the way you think. It is on the TikTok. I did not know that until I got like 25% of it, and I was like, I need this in paper form. So I purchased it.
Nice.
That's go be a little more selfish. Those are the things I want to plug. Go be a little more selfish. Go read maybe that book. Support somebody. Read something that makes you feel some type of way. And go touch grass. This podcast is brought to you by those 3 things.
Yeah. I saw this TikToker, Yuval. He's doing 30 before 30. He's reading 30 books before he turns 30. They're all pretty good, so.
Sorry.
I want to go check it out.
You do it.
Because he's 29.
Oh, it's so hard.
I can't read 30 fucking books.
You could read 30 books. You could listen to 30 books.
I can't. I could.
You could listen. You could listen.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. This podcast is also sponsored by Library Cards. Get yourself a library
Go to your
card.
local library.
Nice.
All right.
Well, thank you, dear listener, for joining us on another episode of Dungeons and Degrees. You can find us anywhere pods are cast. You can find us on Patreon and a lot of the social medias. Hopefully, the TikTok is still TikToking. I don't know if I mentioned the Discord. You can also find us on Discord. And if you really enjoyed Dante's Inferno Corner, you can always send us a question or an answer on our Spotify. Always remember to rate and review. That's the word. Rate and review all podcasts that you listen to at 5 stars, because really, it's fine. Don't be that person. It's a small podcast. Like, I'm sure you laughed at least one time. And if you didn't, then I can't help you.
go check out a different episode. Make sure we're unfunny. And after that one, check another one. Just keep going until you find a funny one, and then comment, "Hey, this one's funny." And if it doesn't have a comment, go to another episode earlier on and then ask that question.
You know, start from number 1 and
Actually,
just like
I can just activate all
just
those.
let us know. Yeah. Rather than here's an idea. Rather than rating anybody less than 5 stars, instead ask a question in each episode of saying like, yeah, this one's good. Oh no, I really didn't like this one. And that's how you're really gonna make changes. That's it right there.
Yeah, ask question and make changes.
Mm-hmm. It's not gonna be your 4-star review. It's gonna be interacting with us. Because once again, we're just assuming you like what we're doing. I like what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I do too.
Although, if you want to get this request in, you might want to do it after we go to Gen Con, because we're just on our selfish game.
We're going to be super selfish.
Super
Selfish. Look what we've done.
Oh no.
We're going to be so sick.
Can we just show up to Gen Con as like oysters? Or like shrimps?
We are having a, what's it called? I like that.
Shrimps.
What's it called? We're supposed to do a cosplay day. We could just do that.
We're just gonna dress up like shrimps and be different, just shellfishes.
Yeah, but I don't know how to do this, so like you gotta.
I don't know how to make a shrimp costume.
You're gonna have to do it. You got more skill than me, so that's that. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. My name's Adrian.
And I'm Alex.
Padrian.
And Alex Schmalix.
Go have some fun.